welcome. Come in. Hello. So this is my extreme minimalist, aka ultra minimalist, furniture free home tour. Those of you who have been here a while are going to notice some differences throughout this video walkthrough of our home, because let's just say there has been a lot of changes since the last video, and although we have been minimalist for nearly a decade, it has been really over the last few years that we have really slowly transitioned into extreme minimalist. But this is really our first go at furniture-free living. We did once live simply on a futon in a studio, but I feel like we had no option because there wasn't more than one room. Although interestingly, this technically should still be one room, as it is a micro apartment and it is under 32 meters squared, and it was the landlord that divided it from one room into several. So this is the end of our hallway, but as you come in, you see a few things which we are going to discuss, and there is my other camera. So we will come back to the bathroom, but let's go into the main living room. In our hallway, everything that is here is functional. We have a door stop, we have a key space, we have this, which I actually made myself. And as I have a second YouTube channel, I do have the odd piece of home interior, which might sound unusual in an extreme minimalist apartment, but that is because home interior and a lot of the things to do with that are actually my hobbies. Often in extreme minimalism, we get asked a lot, you mustn't have any hobbies. Well, yes, I do, and they are around the room. So, the furniture-free scenario. Let me turn the light on so it is a little bit brighter. We do have a hammock, and now that we have no other furniture in here, we have basically decided to store all our blankets in there. So the blankets act as like a pad or something to sit on the evening, but really it's not padded at all, it's just a thin blanket. But it does enable us to get cozy up and warm if it's a cooler evening, although at the moment we are having a little bit of a warm spell. Now, I know that some of you are probably going to say straight away, what about all the wires? And we haven't really decided what to do with the wires yet. As you may notice, we've got a little bit of a wire disguiser on there, but with these ones, we don't really know what to do. It's a very old property, but we are attempting furniture-free living. We just thought, you know what, we will give it a go finally, and my partner is on board with that as well. We're enjoying having a go, and I'll definitely do a follow-up video to this one to show you all how we're getting on. And right now, it sounds like there's a dustbin man arriving, so sorry about that noise, but this is what our living room looks like. We have some dried eucalyptus in a ceramic cans, and that is because I enjoy the aromatherapy. That's another one of my hobbies as an extreme minimalist. And these are not what they appear to be. They are not actually books, but they store soy wax candles inside them, and that's because that is another hobby of mine. Sometimes I make my own soy wax candles, and I just enjoy in general having the candles on, and again dropping a few drops of essential oil in them for aromatherapy, and even making my own essential oil blends. We do have a robot vacuum, and I have not had time to set him off this morning, because normally I set him off in the afternoon when I am working, because he isn't silent, he does make some noise, and to be honest, I would rather be in the other room when it gets set off. So you may notice a few bits on the carpets, and that I cannot do anything about. So I'll walk you all over here to show you from the other angle, and I thought it might be also worth pointing out we are having work done on our property, as there was previously a problem with the loft and condensation, which is why the walls look like they do need a little bit of a paint as well. And also a previous tenant, nicely for us, got a stain on the carpet, which the sofa was previously covering, but now you can see it. Maybe we will get some kind of little tatami mat there, I'm not sure. But I just wanted to show you all a walkthrough of what it looks like with no furniture. And it's interesting, because one of my other videos at this point, I'm not sure what order I've released the videos in, as I'm filming quite a lot ahead before I go travelling. But interestingly, one of my other videos said that we have to consider all furniture when we talk about furniture-free living, I believe. Not just the sort of sofa or a bed, but all of it. So bookshelves, bedside tables, coffee tables, side tables, it's all furniture. And for quite a while, in fact for the last year at least, we have lived with no other furniture except for a sofa and a bed. We've had no bookshelves, no big sets of shelves on the walls, no cabinets other than obviously the kitchen cabinets that are built in that the landlord provided us with. Also, I would love to have this carpet ripped out and wooden floors put down, but it does help keep the property a bit warmer when you're living in a cold climate, and you know, it's rented really, it's up to the landlord. So that's why we've not done that, and it's why we've got carpets. So I think you've all finally seen what this room would look like furniture free. I know that a few people wanted to know how big it is, because I think it is actually really deceptive on camera because we have it all painted white. I used to have it sage green in here and like a terracotta in the other room. If any of you want to go back and watch my first home tour in this house, I will link it down below. And although it looked cozy, it definitely looked smaller. And as a video creator, it was definitely more difficult to film in here with darker walls. The white really creates a blank canvas for filming, and it also makes a smaller home look larger. My mum is actually an interior designer, which I think is where I got my interest in home interior from, which I know might seem quite ironic since, you know, I'm an extreme minimalist, or ultra minimalist as people are calling it these days. But I actually think that being, you know, a minimalist in the all-encompassing umbrella term actually showcases the odd piece you have more. Like, you come in the room, the hammock really stands out, you look over and you can see the stone cairns. And I personally find it really, really peaceful. I like the all white, it calms my mind, it creates a peaceful space. But the thing I was going to show you all is how many steps across the room. My stride is about 1 meter. Here I am. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, not even 4 full strides across the room. And then it's 3 the other way. It is very, very deceptive. And that is the whole point of having the room white, that it really makes the room look larger. Right, let's go into the kitchen, which is a real cosy little nook off of this room, really. I don't suppose you can really call it a separate room. Now, there are 2 of us living here, so we have 2 of everything. Let me turn the lights off. We have recently made a little ceramic display because we do actually have guests. And normally when we're not furniture free, they would have sat on the large sofa. But, you know, I don't think anybody really minds really sitting on the floor. We bring some of the pillows in from the other room. And now at least we have cups to provide everybody with a cup. Whereas before we did just have 2 of everything. We made do with jars. But to be honest, in the winter, we do make a lot of warm drinks. So it's nice, I think, to have the mugs. Also, as an extreme minimalist, aka ultra minimalist, ceramics are one of my passions and enjoyments. Sometimes I like to go thrifting them. Sometimes I like to have a go attempting to make my own with slab building from home, or sometimes you can attend a local class, or even having a go at kintsugi. And you don't have to keep stuff in to do that. You can buy little packs that make just 1 or 2 items, and then you can choose to keep the item that you've made or gift it away. We obviously have our fruit bowl. These are now the only 2 plants I keep in the property, but I do like to keep them because they do clean our air a little bit. So we have nothing on the surfaces except for the kettle, although that might be changing quite soon. And we also have nothing on the tops of our cabinets anymore. So where shall we begin? Let's begin under here. Also guys, it's an old kitchen. There are marks and things on it. I have cleaned it and some of them are simply stained because it is so old. So under our kitchen sink serves as a place for our electric gadgets, which I know doesn't sound like the best of places on the surface of things, but it's because it's actually got an electric socket in there, which enables to use things like the tin opener in the cupboard. We do obviously get the other two things out. That is my partner's air fryer, and we share the juicer blender, and my partner likes the idea of electric tin opener because he is left-handed and finds it incredibly hard to open tins. That is also a knife sharpener on the back of there and a bottle opener. And that is our veg hammock that is now in the cupboard, but it's currently empty. My partner is also a minimalist, but he's not an extreme minimalist, so he does have a couple more things than me. Let's look in the drawer. We have two of everything in there, even chopsticks. I know what you're thinking, these pandas do not look very essential. They were a gift to my partner and they are chopstick rests, and he just loves panda, so it is one of those little things that he likes to keep. Also, while we're talking about things that are essential, some people might consider our home to be more essentialist rather than minimalist, and to be honest, I'm fine with that. Although I also think because we have the odd thing around that kind of looks like home interior stuff due to my hobby, I think it's kind of encroaching on both territories. So we have just one spare tea towel that we keep flat on top of the cupboard, a few condiments, and basically empty other than a few dried ingredients for cooking. And we do cook every single day, hence why our pans look so well used. And I have tried the tip that somebody told me of scrubbing them with oven cleaner on the bottom. It's just not working. They're just stained and old. So yeah, it is what it is. I will keep them until they literally drop apart. That isn't actually made out of ceramic. It's ceramic coated stainless steel, so it's not harmful. It just looks terrible. This stuff is largely my partner's. He likes having glass steins to drink out of, and when his friends come round, I do use the mixing bowl when I am cooking sometimes, and we have this little milk pan as well, and some storage jars for leftovers to go in the fridge. Then over here we have our reusable cloths. We have these that we're using these days instead of glasses because the water in this property is so hard water, like with calcium, that it leaves deposits all over your glass and it's really hard to clean. So we discovered it's easier to have ceramic glasses, and we like having warm drinks with handles but cold drinks without handles. So on the top, that is our coffee caddy, our tea caddy. That's a little filter that my partner likes to use at work, and we have our stainless steel thermoses and just a little bit of more dried stuff here, and the cafetiere that I'm using for coffee these days, plus our salt and pepper cruets. So is that everything in the kitchen? No, not quite. Let me show you here. This is basically just a bread cupboard, and in the bottom is bird seed. And in here, where we keep all our recycling and our regular compostable bin, which is why it looks a bit messy around there. I need to clean that this morning. And what else do we keep down there? Down there we also keep the odd magnetic spice rack and the dustpan, spice jar I should say, and we have our washing machine hiding behind this japandi curtain with our two little trays that we eat from and a lint roller, because there is simply nowhere else to put a lint roller. I often get asked why we keep things in such strange places, and it is because we are trying to make the home look as peaceful visually as possible. So that being said, let's go into the bedroom because we've been down there. So let's go inside. So this is my camera that is currently in the way. that I thought about filming with, but I decided to film on my iPhone because, to be honest with you all, it goes a little bit wider than the Sony camera. So, amethyst soy wax candle, I love it. It's something that I enjoy. It's a hobby, having the essential oils on, making the candles. I like it. I also like having little cozy lamps. Even to say I am an extreme minimalist, I think it can make a space that has no stuff look quite visually peaceful. So let's discuss the room. You're probably all thinking, hold on, there's a desk there. Well, I was thinking the other day, and I work from home. I have 2 YouTube channels and also an academic writer. That raises to be standing because I have a very bad back. So you're probably thinking, well, what are you doing being furniture free? I basically stand at my desk when I'm working. The chair is just there for when my partner actually wants to sit down because, you know, he didn't sign up to doing this furniture free, but he said he would have a go at it for a while. But we weren't going to get rid of every single piece of furniture in the property, just in case we decide we do not like it. Just in case. I know you're not supposed to say that in the world of minimalism, but when it's for 2 people, you know, that's when you kind of have to. So let's talk about the bed. The bed is actually, from a home interior and interior designer point of view, the best solution for this small 32 square metre home. This room is about 3.5 by 3 metres, but you can't really call it that because, as you can see, we have this bit stolen off of it. We have a boiler cupboard in the corner. It houses our water boiler heater, so we can't use that for anything. The only thing we have been able to use it for is storing a suitcase and a laptop raiser on top of it. But other than that, no. My partner has to keep his suitcase down the side of there, and we have a little box full of wires down there. We don't have bedside tables, like I said. We don't have bookshelves. We don't have cabinets. So we use the things that we have as makeshift furniture too. But the 2 non-negotiables for us are having a desk, because I work from home and I have a very, very bad back. And I was actually thinking about this, and I was thinking even people who are furniture free normally leave the house to go to work for sort of 8 hours a day. So they really are getting to sit on furniture elsewhere. So maybe that stops them from having such a bad back. I know there are some studies that show that furniture free living actually strengthens your back. But if you already have a back injury like myself, it is not the best. So yeah, these are the 2 pieces of furniture that we've chosen to keep, and we store all our things in these under bed drawers. All our clothing, all our tech, all our personal items. We do use our suitcases also for storage to not waste any space at all. But can you imagine if we didn't have that stuff under the bed in this small space? It would mean that we had to have a large bookcase up here. We also use that as an air dryer for our clothes. But we'd have to have a huge bookcase here. We might even have to have a set of drawers over there for all our clothes. So I actually think it is the best use of space of storage, because if you think about it, people in van life even do that. They use under their bed as storage because they're living in a small space. We have lived on a futon before and we liked it, but in this space it really isn't doable because of the lack of space. Right, I will take you all through to the bathroom. We also just store a few coats behind there. I'll take you all through to the bathroom. The bathroom is very pokey. It has an annoying extractor fan, but we'll go in nonetheless. It also gets very slippy, so we do need to have a bath mat. My partner loves to have a little tray. He likes sitting in the bath on the cold winter days that we have here and watching his phone in the bath. Not really sure if I advise that, but he does it nonetheless. We have our towels on our towel rack. My partner has not put the toothpaste back in here. Like I said, this is definitely not a clean home tour, but it is a reasonably tidy home tour, which is one of the perks to be in an ultra or extreme minimalist. It is relatively easy to tidy and clean. Everything just needs a quick wipe over. But I have to film this video very quickly this morning before the people doing the renovations come. I'm sure you've all seen the scaffolding on the outside of the building. We do have one little laundry hamper. And we have our mirror. And this might look quite new to some of you, so sorry to have a spoiler for those of you that watch the second channel. But we decided to store our towels and dressing gowns like this. So we have our holiday towels, we have a guest towel, that's my hammam towel dressing gown. That is Charlie's towel for when he visits. It has been boiled washed, so I feel perfectly safe that it is, you know, antimicrobial next to those other things. A linen gown and my partner's dressing gown. Now all the stuff in here is all my partner's, with the exception of I sometimes use the bamboo buds, the floss, they are my partner's. He tries to get biodegradable ones when he can, compostable ones, or he does recycle them. Apparently he needs the pick because he just can't get into where he needs to with the floss, but he tries to use that as much as possible. Then what else? The Dr. Bronner's and the razor. We share the razor with interchangeable razor blades. So that is all the stuff in there. So where do I keep my stuff, you might all ask? We'll get out of here because it is rather noisy. So I keep my stuff all under the bed. I just have one sort of cosmetics bag where I keep the odd skincare item like some moisturiser, my hairbrush, whatever else. I think sometimes I put on the odd little bit of mascara. I've got nothing on today. Most days I don't wear anything like that, just every now and then I do. So I have one bag that I keep all sort of my hygiene products in and that type of thing, deodorant, etc. Non-aluminium deodorant. We try to get all vegan and cruelty-free things. It's all in one bag. I personally find that easier because in that little pokey hole, it gets steamy very fast. So I decided it's pointless me keeping all my stuff in there. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this extreme minimalist, aka ultra minimalist, furniture-free home tour. I will keep you all updated on future months in how we're going with the furniture free, whether we really enjoy it now we're finally doing it after all this time. Thank you all for watching. Bye.